Players just keep stepping up as more unexpected heroes emerge in the Bills' 31-10 win over the Miami Dolphins. I'm sharing my top takeaways from the game today on Locked On Bills.
You are Locked On Bills, your daily Buffalo Bills podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Bills Mafia? It's Joe Marino, author of Go Bills and Buffalo's Run, also the co-host of the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast, and I'm your host of Locked On Bills. Want to thank you for making Locked On Bills your first listen every day, and a big welcome and shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, I appreciate y'all being here very, very much. I'd also like to invite you to subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. Terms and conditions apply. Happy Victory Friday to you. The Buffalo Bills defeated the Miami Dolphins 31-10 and improve to 2-0 on the season. Everybody eats. That's the mindset of the Buffalo Bills on offense. But what we didn't know is that it also applies to the defense. Guys stepping up all over the place on this defense. Guys you didn't expect to have to fill such important roles coming through in a big moment. Baylon Spector, Dorian Williams, Cam Lewis, Jamarcus Ingram, Damar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp. With all due respect to those players, that's a preseason defense from 2023 and 2022. On a short week on the road against a very unique offense, they get it done. Unbelievable. Matt Milano hurt. Taron Johnson out. Terrel Bernard goes down early in this game. The entire second level of your defense is not what you expect it to be, but you figure it out. Sean McDermott might know a thing or two about coaching defensive football. And credit to Bobby Babich as well. He's a coordinator. But this system of defensive development is just unbelievable. Shut this Miami Dolphins offense down. 10 points. And so we're going to talk about this game. It's our post-game reaction show. Thanks for being here, everybody. Our first Victory Friday of the season as Josh Allen now improves to 7-0 on Thursday games. Mr. Thursday there, Josh Allen. We'll talk about things I liked, the very few things I didn't like, recap my predictions, and talk about what's next year on this episode. And so I want to start this one with things I liked. And of course, I've kind of already gotten into it. It's the defense. It's everybody eats. It's the guys stepping up. Unexpected players. Not high-profile guys at all. Depth players. Guys that have been in the system. They're ready to play. They're ready to play. And the big plays on defense were so huge. Big plays on defense. Splash plays all over the place. Started on the opening drive. Miami's facing a 3rd and 13. And Tua throws one down the field. And I'm not exactly sure if Christian Benford had a pass breakup on the play. But the ball gets knocked up in the air. Jamarcus Ingram intercepts the ball. 6 plays later, the Bills score a touchdown. Josh Allen to James Cook. Great play call. Miami had been crowding the middle of the field on those early plays. The Bills give them a tight formation. I talked about tight formations and bunches. They give them a tight formation. They get the rub. James Cook's wide open in the flats. Touchdown on 4th and 3. Tell me more about how Sean McDermott's not aggressive. 7-7 late in the first quarter, 1st and 10. Tua's looking for Robbie Chosen to his right. They're not on the same page. Tua sails the throw. Christian Benford picks it off. Bills get a field goal. They go up 10-7. 17-7, 4:30 left in the second quarter. 3rd and 1, middle of the field, right? Actually, the Dolphins cross midfield. 3rd and 1, Ed Oliver, tackle for loss. Miami goes for it on 4th and 2. Ed Oliver, sack. People asking me where Ed Oliver's at. And you know what the next play was? James Cook's 49-yard touchdown. And when he broke the second level and it was just him against Jordan Poyer, you knew that Jordan Poyer didn't have the legs to get the angle on James Cook. 49-yard touchdown. 9:34 left in the third quarter, 3rd and 5. A.J. Epinesa gets pressure on Tua. Tua's trying to throw it away. He can't get enough juice on the ball. And Jamarcus Ingram records his second interception of the game, this time a pick six. Bills win 31-10. Miami scores 3 points after the first quarter, completely shut out in the second half. Doing so with quite the cast of characters playing linebacker and safety. How about Rasul Douglas and Christian Benford? That is one studly pair of outside corners. They aren't giving up anything, are they? I mean, these guys are unbelievable. It's not just the coverage. These guys are making tackles. These guys are physical. Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle. Very expensive wide receiver core there for the Miami Dolphins. They combined for 65 yards in this game. That's the lowest total since Tyreek Hill joined the Dolphins. Those guys are good. And so, yeah, there's a lot of unexpected heroes at slot corner and linebacker and safety. That outside pair, Benford and Douglas, these guys can play. Big-time players. How about Von Miller? Back-to-back really good games. All 22 looked good for him against Arizona. He parlayed that into a heck of a performance against the Miami Dolphins. Really took Austin Jackson to school, the Dolphins starting right tackle. These stats, courtesy of Next Gen Stats. Von Miller generated all 4 pressures and a sack on 14 pass rush matchups against Dolphins right tackle Austin Jackson. Every one of his pressures got to the quarterback in under 2.5 seconds. Miller's 2.10 second average time to pressure is his fastest in a game since 2021. Von Miller being a net positive to this football team so far this season is a huge development. Huge. And it didn't look good last year, folks. But further removed from that injury, and for what Von Miller is at age 35, you could not be more satisfied to this point in 2024. Playing good ball, turning tight quarters, having good get-off, showing pass rush variety. He looks good. And so you saw him step up tonight at Oliver. Some good pressures from the other players, but all in all, this was a collective team defensive effort. 10 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions. You have 13 big-time splash plays. Miami had 75 snaps. And, I mean, a lot of those are fourth quarter games out of reach. There's a high percentage of those snaps through the first 3 quarters of this game, particularly when this game had, it was more of a up for grabs type game where the Bills defense just kept making plays. Really impressive stuff from Bobby Babich and Sean McDermott. And most importantly, these players that were ready to go, that got themselves ready to go on a short week and went out there and just made a big-time impact. Very, very impressive. So those are things that I liked on the defensive side of the football. Coming up on the other side of it, I want to break down what I enjoyed about the Bills' offense in this 31-10 win over the Miami Dolphins. Folks, be sure to stick with me. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals that you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. So hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, got a little something different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. And if that's not enough, be sure to check out FanDuel's Profit Boost in the app and use it for FanDuel's Double Your Winnings for all Sunday, September 15th, pregame moneyline bets. Profit Boost will be starting live on Thursday, September 12th. View your account page now to learn more about your boost. Just visit FanDuel.com to download America's #1 sportsbook. All right, let's talk about more things that I liked, and I want to focus this part of our conversation on the offense. And the thing that I liked about the Bills on offense is that they embraced the game script. This was not a box score game. I'm not going to sit here and give you a lot of statistical data that's going to measure how good the Bills were in this 31-10 win. Wasn't that type of game. This wasn't a game where Josh Allen had to be Superman and drag the team to a win and will them to victory. That wasn't this game. Certainly had a fun throw down the field to Ty Johnson. That was awesome. Ripped one to Khalil Shakir over the middle, but this wasn't a game where Josh Allen was required to be Superman. Bills offense took advantage of some short fields. They ran the football. And through that, they got a 3-touchdown win over a divisional rival on the road on a short week. So I can really appreciate that for a team in an operation where you think the Bills go as Josh Allen goes. Josh Allen didn't play bad. He just didn't have to do anything spectacular to win this football game. And that's important. You have to be able to win games different ways in the NFL. It's not always going to go a certain way. And the best teams are the ones that, no matter how the game ebbs and flows, that you have ways that you can win, and you can embrace that. A very mature game for the Bills on offense. Very mature. Now, still a lot that I liked within that. I already mentioned, that play call to James Cook by Joe Brady coming out of the 4th and 3 timeout, knowing that they were playing tight. You give them tight alignments, you get a rubs. James Cook's wide open in the flats, touchdown. That throw to Ty Johnson was on a 3rd down as well. But at the end of the day, they embraced the style of game necessary to win and did so by 21 points. And they didn't care about the style points. And that's the sign of a mature, good football team. I really like this offensive line. Aaron Kromer has these boys playing well. Josh Allen not sacked in this game. Miami not credited with a single quarterback hit. And there were good opportunities in the run game as well. Now, there are some dirty runs, right? I mean, that's going to happen when you're spending pretty much the last 25 minutes of the game just trying to get out of it. That's going to happen. But when this Bills team needed to run the football, when it was kind of a more neutral, even game script, they were able to do it. And, of course, James Cook. 12 touches, 95 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If you want to talk about a box score game, well, James Cook is the one that had it. 3 touchdowns. Of course, we talked about the swing pass. And then he's able to get a short yardage run. And then he broke off the 49-yarder. Broke off the 49-yarder. Jordan Poyer couldn't get the angle, folks. Jordan Poyer with a personal foul, 15-yard penalty as well. Jordan Poyer in coverage on that Khalil Shakir throw over the middle of the field. But James Cook, very much a catalyst for this offense. Very much. Through 2 games. A lot of opportunity, a lot of volume. He's been a really important piece of this pie. No question about it. How about Khalil Shakir? 5 catches, 54 yards on 5 targets. Dalton Kincaid had 4 catches, I think, for 33 yards on all 4 targets. And those were all just getting the ball quick in the perimeter and ask him to go produce after the catch, and he did. First guy's not tackling Dalton Kincaid. Don't you just love when he has the ball? There's a physical element about him. That's tone-setting stuff when you just dump the ball to your tight end and he's mowing over dudes, scratching and crawling for yards and getting first downs. It's going to come, right? Like, one thing that you got to understand about this Bills offense is that not everyone's going to go off all the time. It's not designed for that. It's very different. We're not watching an offense that has Stephon Diggs and he's going to get 12 targets, catch 8 of them, maybe have 100-something yards. Like, that's not what this team is. They mean it when they say everybody eats. And so I took some questions throughout the course of the week that people are like, what's up with Curtis Samuel? He was quiet. Or what's up with whatever player? I know people expected more out of Dalton Kincaid last week. I'm sure I'm going to get questions this week. Where's Curtis Samuel? Where Matt Collins? Keon Coleman didn't have a catch. That's fine. This offense is designed so that whatever you want to take away, go right ahead. There's 7 other things the Bills are happy to do. And that's going to mean that at times, most of the time, not everyone's going to be very productive. But it's hard to argue with the results so far. Again, not a box score game for the Bills. Not a box score. I think the most important thing you could look at in the box score is see that the Bills didn't turn over the ball. No turnovers, and were mature enough to embrace the game script. Wasn't a game where Josh Allen had to put the cape on. And that's fine. You won by 21 points on the road against a division rival. Massive. But still bright spots on offense. How they played, the offensive line. James Cook, certainly a bright spot. Khalil Shakir, a bright spot. I think Dalton Kincaid with his opportunities, a bright spot. A lot to like in a game where, again, you were able to take care of business under some very difficult circumstances. All right, folks, on the other side of it, I want to discuss a few things that I didn't like. I want to recap my predictions and, of course, tell you what's next for the Bills and this podcast. Be sure to stick with me. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your guys gets hurt. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get money in as quick as 15 minutes. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, folks, let's talk about some things that I didn't like from this game. And I think where you have to start that is seeing Tua Tagovailoa have a concussion. I don't root for Tua's success as a quarterback in the NFL, but he, by all accounts, is a really good dude that has a young family. He's 26 years old. And that was tough to see. Like, respectfully, that was very difficult to watch. Him suffer another head injury. I mean, I definitely felt something. I felt very bad for Tua in those circumstances. I don't wish that on anybody. And so that, like, candidly, that sucked to see that happen. Guys trying to be competitive and help his team come back, and he's concussed and didn't look good. And we know the history there. And, like, sincerely, my thoughts and prayers are with Tua, and I wish him a complete, speedy recovery. And for that to take care of itself. Nobody wants to see that. That sucked. Like, candidly, that sucked. So that's first and foremost what I didn't like from this game. Secondly, I didn't like seeing Terrel Bernard get injured. I mean, what on earth? It's like defensive star after defensive star just going down. And watching this game and seeing the players that are on the field and the success the Bills are having defensively, it had me feeling some type of way, thinking about like the last 3 years for the Bills and what Sean McDermott could have gotten out of this group if he had the players he's supposed to have. What if Tre'Davious White doesn't have the injuries that he had? Von Miller, Matt Milano, Micah Hyde. Come on, this defense would have been unbelievable. Very unfortunate. And so now we have to just wonder, what's the deal with Terrel Bernard? How long is Taron Johnson going to be out? This is nuts. Pectoral injury. It's something about these defensive players. I just want to see like what this defense can be if it has its players. Like, that'd be cool. And you just and the unfortunate part is you just left wondering, okay, well, who's it going to be next week? Who's it going to be next week? Hopefully nobody. Law of averages said it needs to be nobody, but somebody keeps getting hurt. I didn't like Tyler Bass missing that field goal. It was an ugly kick. I will say if there ever was a time to miss a field goal, it's when the Bills are up 31-10 in the fourth quarter, but you just felt so good about Tyler Bass as a field goal kicker. Perfect to that point, right? And I thought in this game, his other kicks were very pure, right? He made a field goal, plus 3 extra points. He looked like he was kicking the ball well. And then all of a sudden he shanks one. So hopefully he got that out of his system and finds himself. But yeah, I mean, if there ever was a time to miss a field goal, it's right then and there. And then I know that I'm nitpicking, right? I get it. But I thought that shot play to MVS down the field, I like the design. I wish that Josh was able to get his feet set to throw an accurate pass, but the Dolphins ran a really nice stunt there and was able to loop around Chop Robinson and brought him through the A-gap, and he got pressure in the face of Josh, and Josh really couldn't get himself set to make an accurate throw. But I would have loved to have seen that be a completion. Recapping my predictions. So that's it for things I didn't like. I mean, Bills won 31-10. Come on. There's not a whole lot to not like. Recapping my predictions, the first thing I predicted was that Ed Oliver would record a sack. We got that on the board. Number 2 is I predicted that Dalton Kincaid would have a touchdown. That didn't happen. Again, I think that's more game script related. I predicted that Josh Allen would have 300 passing yards. He couldn't. And I was way off. He had 139. This game went a lot differently than I thought it would. I thought this was going to be a shootout. I thought that the Bills would struggle to match up with Miami's offense, and they were going to get a lot of explosive plays, and Josh Allen would have to, match touchdowns all game long. That didn't happen. 139 passing yards for Josh Allen in a 31-10 win. Let me repeat that. Josh Allen had 139 passing yards and a 31-10 win. Not what you'd expect. I said that the winner of the turnover battle would win the game. I was right about that. The Bills are +3 in turnovers for this contest. And then I very foolishly picked the Dolphins to win the game. And I was wrong about that, and I've never been more happy to be wrong. It's the first time yet in my career on this podcast I've predicted every Bills game to this point. This is the first time that I predicted the Bills to lose, and they won. So there you go. I'm happy for that streak to be over. I don't pick the Bills to lose often. I thought there was more in favor of Miami for this game, and I was wrong about that. The Bills convincingly won this football game and made me look silly along the way. So never been more happy to be wrong about something. Next up for the Buffalo Bills is a home game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Monday Night Football, Highmark Stadium. And it feels really good to have this win because It's a long time before the Bills play again. 11 days. Now, part of me is very happy about that because you want to get healthy, take advantage of the mini bye, really assess some things and maximize your opportunity because you got some tough stuff happening. I got a schedule right here. Jacksonville, Baltimore, Houston. That's your next three. Jacksonville, Baltimore, Houston, the Jets. So it's nice to have a little opportunity right here to assess and figure out your strategy moving forward. But if the Bills would have lost this game, chewing on a loss for 11 days would have not been fun. We don't have to do that. We're 2-0, and there's a lot to be excited about as we do project this team moving forward. So that's next up for the Buffalo Bills. Next up for me and my content, post-game article for the Substack. I don't know if you guys are aware, but I launched a Substack like 3 weeks ago, and I'm writing articles about the Bills, and I've really enjoyed it. I've had a lot of great feedback from it, writing 3-4 articles a week. And one of the articles that is a staple of what I plan on doing is my post-game column. And it's not a recap column. My objective with the post-game column is to get into big picture thoughts about the Bills. And I'll have that coming for you at some point on Friday. And then, of course, all 22 review. So I'm going to spend all day on Friday after I get done writing, studying the tape, and then we'll do the all 22 review episode. Might be Saturday, might be Friday night. I'm not sure, but I'll try to get to that to you as timely as I can. And then, of course, if you're part of our sub text community, you'll get film clips of 30-something plays or so of me kind of breaking things down. So if you would like to be part of the Substack or the subtext, there's a link in today's show notes and everyday show notes for you to join and be part of those things. And then coming out of the weekend, we'll do herd mentality on Monday. With it being a short week this past week, something had to go. And so I put herd mentality aside, but we'll get to that on Monday. And then we have a couple of open days. I do have Bruce Nolan lined up for one of them. And then we're going to get ready for Jacksonville with the primer, crossover Thursday, all the stuff that we do here on Locked On Bills. So don't miss anything. Make sure that you're subscribed. I would love it if you took a second to rate, review, and share this podcast. Enjoy your Victory Friday. Go Bills. And I look forward to catching up with you again real soon.